Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, drop everything that you're doing at the moment and pay attention, because Yawa has completely burst in the Nigerian space. So Yawa has completely burst in the Nigerian space, and as ever, when Yawa burst in the Nigerian space, it's usually the government, the governance, or the churches. So this time around it's the churches, and this time around is this rather gigolo type character who purports himself to be some sort of a pastor. This guy that goes by the name Biodun Fatoyinbo is the name that we're conjuring with in this particular video. So now this clown, this joker of a guy, and obviously me calling him a clown and a joker of a guy already tells you what my sentiments are about this character. And really I have reasons to be of this view of this guy, because this is somebody that I have been keeping an eye on over a period of time, and there's nothing to commend or recommend him to anybody. This is just some chancer on the make. This is just my reading of this character called Biodun Fatoyinbo. It's just some chancer on the make. And let me just cite you one example of, I can give you several examples. I'm just going to give you one example because this is going to be a fairly lengthy video, so I don't want to add too many add-ons so it doesn't drag on for too long. But there was one occasion when this guy, and if I can find the clip, I might well put it in here, but I might not. But if I find the clip, I'll put it here. But there was one occasion when this real clown, this Biodun Fatoyinbo clown, was saying that if God himself said tithing and offering was not his will, he would laugh and go, ha 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 ha, God, I disagree, that tithing and offering is the pathway.
If God appears to me and tells me seed does not work, I'll tell God, thank you, because seeds work. And please don't come out of compulsion. Come out because you're convinced of the Lord.
So this guy in effect was saying that he would disagree with God himself, that tithing and offering, this is God though, that whose name he's mining for his profits. He say he would disagree that tithing and offering is not the pathway to God, if God says it wasn't the pathway, because of course tithing and offering is how he's making his millions, and the tool that he's using to exploit and defraud people. So this is the type of character that this guy is, and if I can find that clip, I'll insert it quickly in here. I just cut that little bit of it just to show you what this idiot of a guy is. So now, but that's not the narrative. The narrative is about this guy and a lady called Busola Dakolo. So Busola Dakolo, the wife of Timmy Dakolo, who apparently is a Nigerian musician. I don't really know anything about him, but this Timmy Dakolo is apparently fairly known, well known rather, Nigerian musician, and this Busola is meant to be some sort of a photographer who is also of some prominence. So these are high profile people, and this Busola now has granted an interview to one of these funky outlets that do all this type of things, and what she has now done within that space is to come out with the revelation that when she was 17, and this Biodun Fatoyinbo 419 guy, he was a preacher then in Ilorin, that this guy came to her home on one occasion. She was 17 at the time, by the way, a high school girl. So he came to her home, and then he knocked on the door. This was around about 6 a.m. in the morning, 6:30, very early in the morning. Anyway, it's her narrative, but I'm not going to read you the whole narrative because this video, as I said, I don't want it to be excessively lengthy. But the sum up of that, and I'll put a link, by the way, to the full storyline if you want to go read it. Also, I'll put a link in the description. But the gist of her narrative, the opening salvo, was that this Biodun character, he came to her home very early in the morning and knocked on the door. And now she was at the home with her sister, because her parents were away then on whatever it is that they were away on. But she was at home with her sister, and their home, obviously, she was describing, was a fairly big home. But then she came down to attend to whoever was knocking at the door, she saw this Biodun character who was a familiar face. She let him in, and as soon as she let him in, he immediately assaulted her physically, pinned her down, and then obviously reached up her skirt, and obviously then you know what the rest is. Obviously, I don't want to be too graphic in this, but then he forced himself on her. So this is what he did to her, and she was 17 at the time. So she is now married, a mother of 3, and she has now come out in the open space, in the media space, to now describe how this guy foisted himself on her. So now this is not the first instance, of course, when this narrative has been associated with this person, this Biodun of a character, because you recall that there was some lady also that already alleged that he done this to her. So this is a theme that follows this guy around pretty much for years now. It's been years now that this guy has been having these allegations follow him around. There was some Eve something, I can't remember the last name of the Eve lady, that also made this sort of allegation about this Biodun of a person that is oh no, not Eve, actually it's Essie Walters is actually the name of the person that originally made this allegation. So this guy now has been now having this allegation trail him around. So now this high profile lady now has now come out to now narrate this rather graphic, sort of sordid, rather jarring encounter that she's had with this person, this clownish guy. Or I don't really like the guy, so I'm not going to continue calling him a clownish guy, but effectively she's come out to narrate what this person allegedly did to her. But then it's now generated a lot of controversy within the Nigerian space, with a lot of big name personalities coming out to have their say on what is allegedly taking place. So now let's go to now what some of these big name personalities are having to say about this. So we first go to Reno Omokri. So this is Reno Omokri having a say about this. Even the most useless Nollywood movie director won't accept such a plot. So now this guy is now backing this Biodun Fatoyinbo, or Fatoyinbo, whatever his name is, this Biodun Fatoyinbo. So he is now saying that this story is a little bit too far-fetched in the way that this lady has narrated it. So this is effectively what Reno Omokri had to say. So Reno Omokri has reacted to the interview, which has since gone viral on the internet, with most celebrities supporting Busola over Pastor Fatoyinbo. In a post he shared on Instagram, Reno stated that even though he isn't a fan of Fatoyinbo, Busola's story doesn't add up and cannot stand up in court or in light of in the light of cross-examination. So he doesn't really buy into what this lady's narrative is fully, and I am going to put a link, as I said, to what this girl had to say, and I really couldn't really buy fully into it as well, but I can buy into the idea and into the numerous allegations now that's leveled against this guy about his sexual misdemeanors, especially against the ladies, which is often in the form of him forcing himself on them against their will. So now this is what Naira Marley had to say about the whole saga. So Naira Marley now, like I said, there's a lineup of celebrities having their say on this. So this is now what Naira Marley has to say. Busola Dakolo versus Pastor Biodun, say no to RAPE. Naira Marley. This is what Naira Marley has to say. So controversial rapper Naira Marley has also lent, that is Lent, has also lent his voice to the ongoing RAPE allegation against Kosa senior pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo by Timi Dakolo's wife Busola. According to Naira Marley, say no to RAPE and yes to SOPI. So SOPI is a street term for like men helping themselves, you know, when a man goes to the bathroom by himself and helps himself. So I don't really need to expand on that. You should already know what that is inferring. So that is what Naira Marley has to say. But as I said, everybody has an opinion on this. This is another character, Sade Ladipo. This is apparently some sort of celebrity too. Biodun Fatoyinbo is a cancer, is what she has to say. So that's the headline, so you can already know where she's headed with this. So Sade Ladipo blaster Biodun Fatoyinbo and calls on other popular pastors to speak up against him, and there's a video clip of her saying this as well. So I just caught a snippet of that.
So your Gucci pastor, your Gucci pastor, you see? First of all, I noticed that your Gucci pastor has blocked me first. Just to tell you that my trolling has reached him. I didn't know he had blocked me. It was today I said, let me check his stupid page. Animal is better than that people's Gucci pastor. Animal. Yes, he has a problem. Mental, physical, spiritual, whole body problem. He needs to be deleted from the world. Everybody's looking at me like I'm mad, but it's true. God will help all of you who are still following such a stupid man.
So let me just see what she has to say. I am shook. That is this new term that the people are now using now. I am shook. I think all this funky new language that people use now. So Sade Ladipo, I am shook and so unhappy. For the past 3 years, I've been trolling that should be you, Biodun Fatoyinbo, mainly because I knew within me that he's the devil incarnate. I just found out today he blocked me. So this guy has now blocked her off his Twitter feed because obviously she's been stalking him on social media. I am completely sure that Kosa as a church has been a blessing to many people, but Biodun Fatoyinbo is a cancer that will cripple Kosa as well as the whole body of Christ. I call upon the likes of Sam Adeyemi, Pastor Itua, Pastor Tony, and anyone else who considers the winnings and saving of souls for the kingdom of God important. Biodun Fatoyinbo is an animal that should be locked up and the key thrown away. He and many others are walking around free in our society, and every day for the thief, but one day for the owner. If you attend Kosa and think these allegations are false, then ask your pastor to defend himself. After all, he promised a robust reply in 2013. May God save us. So apparently there's been allegations made since 2019, which this Biodun Fatoyinbo character has not responded to, because he seems to be ducking and diving from all of these allegations that trail him. So here's another response from a lady called Ine, E-N-E. So this is what she has to say. I give Pastor Biodun 24 hours to reply, apologize, or else I might go to Kosa with placards saying RAPE Pist. So this is what the lady is now threatening to do. So this is now what the lady is now stating that she's intending to do. So she's now going to go to the guy's church to go and picket him or off the back of these allegations. So on and on it goes, you know. So it is just an endless stream. So here's another headline: Timmy and Busola have a lot of skeletons and they are busy throwing stones. So this is now somebody that backs this pastor. So business executive Wale Jana defends Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo. So Timmy and Busola have a lot of skeletons and they are busy throwing stones. So this is now somebody that has something to say in favor of this pastor. But I'm not going to take you through everything that this person has to say because it's quite lengthy and I don't really want to go too heavy because this video already is going to be quite long anyway. So I don't want to go through everything that this character has to say. So let's go through another headline. I stand with Busola. Hashtag I stand with Busola. Thank you for being a voice for the many women that don't have the courage to speak out yet. So this is Don Jazzy commending Busola's wife. So Don Jazzy, now a well-known name in the show business enterprise, backing this Busola lady, obviously really assuming of course that her narrative is true. So Naira Marley, we've already gone through what he has to say, and so yeah, let's just leave it there because as I said, this video is of length already, and I'll put quite a few links on it already, so you can just go have a look through as well to see what the background is to all this. But essentially the upshot of it, the summary of it is this Busola Dakolo, the wife of a chap called Timmy Dakolo. This Busola, allegedly a photographer, this Timmy, allegedly a musician or somebody in the music industry, has come out to narrate an incident that happened in her teenage years, which she alleges this Biodun Fatoyinbo, this really low rent character, allegedly foisted himself on her physically to the point of inserting himself into her. So now this is what she is alleging, and this is now what is now led to all these uptakes within the social media space, with everybody chiming in to have their say on what has happened. So now there's nothing in this Biodun Fatoyinbo's character to suggest or to commend him or to really enable anybody to leap to his defense, because he's a chancer, is a gigolo type character, is one that you would not want your wife around because he's just one of those people, Mr. Bombastic kind of, you know, he's just one of those type of characters that you just don't want, that the females that you care for, your sisters, your wives, your cousins, you don't want them anywhere around him because it's just a lecherous type of sleazy kind of, so it's like low rent kind of character, a real low breed, is a real pond life, a real amoebic kind of, it's just low form of being kind of person, you know. So he's one of those. So now you have this lady now making this rather outlandish story, which sounds sort of something like scripted out of Mills and Bones. It's not a story that is particularly believable, but because of the character that she's alleging against, there's a real will to believe this story, because this guy falls into that category of persons that will be of this ilk, if you get my meaning. So now this is now the going on now within Christendom. So we've completely abandoned Christ and God in Christendom in Nigeria, and what we now have is these Fatoyinbo type characters by Apostle Suleiman, the Apostle Suleiman, the lady lovers and the money lovers cars. This is effectively what Nigerian Christendom is all about. So this is private jets and all this and nice and pretty girls and designer clothes and flash cars. This is Nigerian Christendom, and this is now the latest character now in the uptake now. This Biodun Fatoyinbo character. So conversations in the comment section is what I am inviting around all this. But before you come join me in the comment section to have a conversation about what the pastor did, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray, bell button, that way you're notified every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of all these nonsensicals going on within Nigerian Christendom in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, carry on this conversation with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.